With so many games on sale, it's time to break it up into categories. And here are the best open world games money can buy, all on sale. Kicking it off with a strong series everybody will know or at least have heard of, especially after the recently released Amazon show. It's debatable which in the series is best. I'm partial to number 4, but all the Fallout games are masterpieces. And since we're talking about Bethesda games, we might as well bring up the black sheep of the open world Bethesda family. It was hyped up to be one of the biggest games of the decade, but as we all know, it turned out kinda disappointing. But hopefully they can pull it out of the gutter with their new upcoming expansion. You can pick up Starfield now for $46.89 at a not too shabby 33% sale. There is, however, a really good Starfield alternative that is sadly very underrated. It's a few years old now, but I'd argue it can stand toe-to-toe with the best Bethesda open world games. The Outer Worlds is one of my favorite spacefaring open world experiences, and the tongue-in-cheek humor of the game is amazing. And let's not forget some of Obsidian's other open world games, most notably Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2. Completely different from the games earlier, but no less impressive. A lot of people call these the spiritual successors of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, before BG3 of course. Both are on sale for 75% down to $9.99. Two other amazing turn-based quasi-open world games in the same vein as Baldur's Gate 3 and in fact from the same developer is Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2. Two turn-based strategy gems you should absolutely try if you haven't yet. Pick up number 1 for $7.99 and number 2 for $9.99. And briefly jumping back to the spacefaring open worlds, we can't forget about the original Redemption story. Before even Cyberpunk had its terrible launch, there was No Man's Sky. It's not for everybody, but if you like space exploration and doing whatever the heck you want, this is the game for you. Now on sale for 50% off. Alright, let's veer back to some of the more traditional open world games. Everything in Rockstar's library is on sale. All the Grand Theft Auto games, including GTA 4 and 5. Red Dead Redemption 2 is of course also on sale and has a nice 67% discount. And lastly, one that always gets overlooked, and I would call it a GTA Lite experience. Bully, the Scholarship Edition. Instead of taking over a city, you take over a school. Really fun and totally underrated. Since we're on the topic of schools, this one blew up last year due to some controversy, but the game itself isn't half bad either. Hogwarts Legacy is basically a Harry Potter simulator. 60% off down to $23.99. And then there are of course all the usual open world suspects. The whole Far Cry series is on sale. Most notably Far Cry 6, which I actually quite enjoyed despite the formula being exactly the same as all the other ones. This is down 80% and Far Cry 5 down 90%. Get them for $11.99 and $5.99 respectively. And of course the Assassin's Creed series, all down 80 to 90%. Valhalla, the latest entry, is particularly fun. Being a Viking and pillaging is quite enjoyable. Who would have thought? The Forza series. Yes, these are all open world games as well. Are all on a significant sale, with Forza 5 and Motorsport 50% off, and Forza 4 a whopping 80% down. Also, these run very well on the Steam Deck. Fun arcade racers you can put a lot of time in. Another series I really enjoy and highly recommend due to its high octane parkour and combat and surprisingly decent story are the Dying Light games. In particular, the first one is really good. Both are on a nice 70 and 60% discount. And since we strayed into horror territory now, if you're looking for a deep, and I mean deep, zombie survival simulator, there is Project Zomboid. Don't mind the graphics, this game's amazing. It's on a nice 33% discount. On the other side of that coin we have Microsoft's arcadey zombie mashing survival series State of Decay. If you've never tried these, now is the time because the third one was just announced. 75 and 67% discount respectively. Or if you're in the market for an open world ghost story, Ghostwire Tokyo is your game. An enjoyable, if not very scary, magical ghost shooter. But there's something for everybody here. How about vampires? This is not your typical open world game. In Vampyr, you play a vampire, surprise, with a conscience. Who you choose as your victims really affects the city. It's really cool. And also on a steep 80% discount. Sticking with the spooky theme for a bit longer. Here's another series I really enjoy, but only the last one can really be considered open world. Metro Exodus is down 80%. Now, this is a very cool post-nuclear war horror themed shooter. The atmosphere in these games is amazing. More recently, they're very similarly themed. This one revolving around an old station wagon is Pacific Drive. Stuck in a walled-off supernatural exclusion zone with only a station wagon for company. I really loved upgrading and messing around with your car. Down 40%. And of course, if we're talking about horror, although the screams is me tearing my hair out, that's Elden Ring, down a neat 30%. Should also include this one in the horror section, although people might disagree as in many ways it's really more of a walking simulator, but Death Stranding is also on a nice discount. And I mean, there's some pretty creepy stuff in that game. Alright, enough horror. Let's talk about something completely different. Let's call this the spy thriller category. Starting off with another personal favorite series of mine. The Hitman games were always good, but ever since the reboot, they've gotten so much better. Each level is a great adult sandbox playground that has a near infinite amount of replayability, and how you take down your target is completely up to you. The full collection is 60% off. Something very similar in its sandbox level approach, but with a focus on World War II, is the Sniper Elite series. Especially with Sniper Elite 4 and 5, the series has really found its footing. As with Hitman, each level has great replayability. And of course, there's the Sniper X-Ray Cam. so good. And if we're talking about military open world games, we really can't skip over this controversial beauty. Metal Gear Solid 5, the first Metal Gear to go full open world. And of course, ditch David Hayter for Kiefer Sutherland. Check out my full breakdown of this game if you want to know more. Anyways, a nice 40% off. And another game that went open world with its latest iteration, Halo Infinite, gets a nice 60% off. For some reason, people don't seem to like this game much. But for me personally, this really brought back that old school Halo feeling. Spiderman Remastered, one of the greatest superhero games ever made, aside from the Arkham Batman games of course, which are all on sale as well. The whole PlayStation catalog is on sale as well, by the way. There's Days Gone, another fun open world zombie survival adventure, 75% off, and of course the Horizon series. Both Zero Dawn and Forbidden West are on sale for 75 and 20% off respectively. In terms of world building, there are no better games. Then something completely different from anything else on this list. Really a kind of medieval career simulator is Kingdom Come Deliverance. This game really is one of a kind, and if you haven't tried it yet, you should pick it up. Red Faction Guerilla. It's a little older, but no less fun. What makes this game different is the total destructibility of its levels. It might look a bit dated, but leading rebellion in a fully destructible Mars environment is fun as ever. You can pick it up for $4 now. And then lastly, another strong Capcom contender. Monster Hunter World. Maybe not exactly open world in the traditional sense, but hunting massive monsters, observing and learning their behaviors is always fun. And it's on a strong 67% discount. And that's it, the ultimate open world Steam summer sale guide. Check out here for one of my other summer sale videos with more amazing deals, and I hope to see you in the next one.